This is help for the reading questions 1 through 6 from The Giver by Lois Lowry for Miss Dunham's class. These are the questions for Chapter 1 and 2, Basic Comprehension Questions. Number 1. Discuss what you learn about Jonas's family. So the first thing we need to do to answer this question is restate the question. In The Giver, Chapter 1 through 2, the reader learns, and then you'll put what you've learned, or you could restate by writing, in the first 2 chapters, you learn many things about Jonas's family. You learn, and then you're going to give an example of something you learned about them. So what you want to include is you want to name who is in Jonas's family. You could name the jobs his parents have. You could name something you remember about Lily or Jonas. You could include an important detail about any member of the family, like Jonas's eyes or Lily and the bikes. This next part is an example answer. Do not copy it because it is not true from our story. But your answer might sound something like this. In the first 2 chapters of The Giver, I found out that, so I restated my question. In the first 2 chapters of The Giver, I found out that Jonas has a grandma and 2 cousins. So now I have named the people in his family. His grandma is a doctor and his cousins go to school. This is naming the jobs or what they do. One cousin can't wait to start basketball practice, and the other cousin talks all the time. So now I've given some important details about the characters. So that's the end of question 1. Don't put all your spaces in the answers like I did in my example. Just write it in paragraph form. Now you're going to try to write your real answer, but use details from the story. Make sure you include Jonas's mother, father, and Lily. Don't forget to include Jonas in the description of the family as well. Number 2, what is release? Make sure you restate the question. It's easy for this one. Release is, and then you're going to give your information. You can look at the Giver summary, and I've put the link here to help define release. Include different types of release you can remember from the story. How were old people released? What about babies? What about rule breakers? Make sure you write in a complete sentence. Question 3. What is the ceremony of the 12 and why is it so important? First, restate your question. The ceremony of the 12 is, and then after you put your information, you're going to need to say, it is important because. Check your book and the summary for reminders about the ceremony. The link is right there, and then you can look in pages 18 through 23 to find some more information. In your answer, make sure you define the ceremony. What is it about? What do they do? What do you get at this ceremony? What makes this ceremony so different from the other ceremonies? What does Jonas think or worry about in regards to this ceremony? So in your answer, define the ceremony, pick a reason that it's special, and then give a detail that Jonas thinks or feels about this ceremony. Make sure you write in complete sentence, capitalize your first letter, and use punctuation. Number 3, who is the receiver? This one is easy. It's on page 17 and 18 and also in the summary, and your link is there. Restate the question. The receiver is. Please make sure you include some information like elders and committees in your answer. Number 4, how are rules changed? Same pages, page 17 through 18. Restate the question. The rules are changed by. Make sure your answer should reference committees, elders, and receivers, and you should mention how often rules actually get changed when people try to change them. Last question. This is your digging deeper question. Discuss the differences you already see between Jonas's community and your own. Consider practices, rules, and traditions. Also, discuss the possible negative effects of living in this type of community. So make sure you restate your question. One way you could do that is there are many differences between Jonas's community and mine. One difference is, or you could say, in Jonas's community, their traditions and rules are very different from my community. Rules like no bikes, volunteer hours, no flying over houses, no picking your husband or wife, no having babies, uniforms for each child, or no choosing your own job seem. And you're just going to pick one or two of those and tell me how you think it seems. Does it seem crazy, weird, impossible, hard to imagine? In my community, because blank, because we have choices, because the government doesn't control our daily lives, because I've had a bicycle since I was 3 years old. Just pick a reason that makes sense for the rule or tradition in Jonas's community that you chose. Then make sure you include one negative thing about living with these rules is, or something like the rules and traditions in Jonas's community could be bad because. Okay, that's all of them. I hope this helps you guys. I'm going to make another audio that's just reading the questions. Miss you, bye.